there, sweetie. Come on in. Go ahead and put your backpack down, get comfortable, pick whatever chair you want, the usual. What class did I just pull you from? I get so jumbled with everyone's schedules. Can't keep track. Okay, English, so you were going to lunch after this? Okay. Yeah, you had the first lunch, if I remember correctly. Okay, good. Sorry, I am surrounded by computers today. There should be some space on the desk there if you want to put anything up there. We can catch up a little bit. I know it's been a little while. You've kind of bumped our meetings around as of late. How have you been doing? Okay. Are you sure? You can be honest in here. It won't leave the room unless of course it's a crisis. So but even then we'll handle that with care, okay? Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking your attendance. Letting everyone know that you're here so you're not lost or missing in the school or have left. That happens sometimes. Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to make an apology at the beginning. I know the air conditioning can make some awful sounds. The school's air conditioning is old. It rattles, it does all sorts of stuff. You've heard it before being in here, but still, I like this to be a calming area, and when it's hot out like it is now, that's not always the most possible. Speaking of that, are you okay with the lighting in here? I know I have it kind of dim, but I can close the blinds a little bit more. You'd like me to do that? Okay. I'll be right back. Okay, how is that? Better? If you need me to dim any other lights, do tell me. I just want you to be able to see me still. Okay. So you mentioned you're not doing the best. Okay. Feeling a little overwhelmed, anxious, completely understandable. There's a lot going on, and I know you're still new here, so it might take a little bit. Of course, it's different for everyone. I know when you got here, let's see, you took on quite a few clubs. You're in some honors classes. You have quite the load here, and I'm not even sure if you do extracurriculars outside of what we offer at the school, or if you're in any other kinds of groups, maybe in a church or outside clubs, I guess at recreational centers. I couldn't think of the word right away, but okay, so you game with people online as well? Okay. Let me go ahead and grab our stuff back here. Oh, gonna need this probably. If I have somewhere to put it. I thought I had this better organized, but turns out I don't. That's how it be. Okay. So to start out, why don't we do the faces? I know this can feel kind of young for the different ages, the different grades and all. But this might help us narrow down. I do let you pick up to 3 if you remember. If you don't need to pick up to 3, that's totally fine. But sometimes it's hard to narrow down how we're feeling. So let me go ahead and pull this out so you can see the ones on the back again. And I do have the feelings wheel if you'd like to maybe look at that instead. Here it is, and then here is the back. It's up on the wall too if you would rather look at that, but there is this. And let me get some paper ready. There's all my blank paper. Okay, you ready? Yeah, you can point at them if you'd like to. Okay, overwhelmed, on edge, worn out. Okay, let me get this here. I'll put this on the paper. Okay, so you don't need to be embarrassed. Everything is okay in this room. There is nothing that's going to make me think otherwise of you or shock me. This is a safe space. Do you want something to fidget with, by the way? Okay, give me 1 second and we can get you something. Overwhelmed, of course, yes. I do have a couple of questions for you. Sorry, my voice. That's upside down. I do have, pardon me, I need a sip of this. Just a little something. I do have these magnetic, like Minecraft cubes, if you would like to build while we talk. There's a cute bee in here, and the little doggy. But everything's laid out like that. And yeah, you can just build on the table if you'd like. Otherwise, I have the waffle thing. That's just what I call it, but there's that. I've got the Ono Signets. I believe these are the smaller version. I do have the larger version too. think the larger version is what they do sell, but they sent me prototypes, so that's why I have 2 different sizes. Got lucky with that, but there's those. And I know sometimes, I know, like, personally, I've taken it to the dentist to kind of distract me, texture-wise and everything, but okay, I'll leave these out for you. And then do you want the Minecraft cubes? Okay. And if there's not space on my desk, there is the smaller desk right in front of it, so you have space to do it there. No, I did not reserve you a time slot today, so you don't have to be rushing out of here. I don't have anyone to talk to again until, let's see, probably 1:30. Yeah, so it's totally fine. We can take however much time we need, and I'll just, I'm gonna set them over here. If you are all right with that, you can reach for them. Okay. All right, so we've got that sorted. I don't think I need the binder down right now anymore. Oh, maybe. You are feeling a little anxious, right? Okay, maybe I will pop out this rainbow breathing in case you need to do that while we're talking. What's that? That's much easier to keep on the desk than the binder. So, put that down here. Okay, now to business. Okay, so how have things been going at home? Are you able to maintain like self-care and you know, taking a slow pace with things? Are you dealing with more? Has something happened? Do you need to take care of a parent or a loved one? Okay. But you haven't been given any extra responsibilities of like taking care of anyone else. Okay. Okay. Have you been getting enough sleep? I kind of sometimes group that in with self-care, but it is its own beast. Okay. So by on and off, you mean like some nights you're sleeping normally and others you just can't sleep, or some nights you're oversleeping and others you can't sleep, or... Okay, so it's very like one or the other. And do you think that's because of how you're feeling right now? Are your thoughts racing when you're up at night, or you just literally cannot go to sleep? Like physically can't close your eyes and... Okay. All right. Okay. Do you know exactly why you are feeling this way that you're feeling right now? The on edge, worn out, overwhelmed? Okay, so like one day everything kind of felt too much. Okay. Do you remember what day that was? I know sometimes it's hard to pinpoint it. I know I've had days where I wake up and I just feel like everything is a lot where it wasn't the day before. So you don't have to have that same experience. I'm just curious because sometimes people don't know how to describe it. So I'm just providing maybe an explanation that could help you figure that out. Okay? Okay. Sorry, there must be kids in the hallway. I do need to put soundproofing in this room. I'm not sure how much they'd allow, but... Oh, okay. So, a couple weeks ago, yeah, you don't need to be more specific than that if you don't know for certain. It's okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, because, well, I definitely wanted you to come in this time because some teachers have brought up to me that you've been struggling to focus a little bit in class. I know we've talked about your neurodivergencies. Is that the correct way to say that? Multiple in the past. And we've figured some things out, but I know some of them are newer than others that you've discovered, so it can be a little overwhelming, I guess, when you're working at a pace and then all of a sudden maybe you find out something new or you're taking on too much and it just, you don't know it's too much until it's too late kind of thing. So I know that you're in a couple of clubs and I know that you're very keen on keeping perfect attendance even when you're not feeling that great. I know you're doing like the spelling bees and stuff, so you're in those kinds of groups that are kind of demanding. But you, how many are you in? You're in, there's art and technology, and then the spelling. Okay. Are you in anything else, like sports-wise? Okay. Basketball? See, no, to me, that's a lot. I know some people can manage that on top of school. For other people, it's not always physically possible to do that. I assume you've probably been keeping up with that amount of extracurriculars even before you moved here. Okay. Okay, so you've taken on a couple extras then to try to socialize and meet people, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I can tell it's a little bit difficult for you to speak with me right now. I am noticing that you're a little bit more monotone than usual, which is completely fine. But I can just assume that verbalizing how you're feeling might be taking a lot out of you right now. So if we need to switch how we're communicating, we can do that, okay? All right. Okay, yeah. Well, that makes me feel better that you feel safe talking to me and comfortable and everything. But if at any point you do need to swap, we can, okay? All right, perfect. Okay, then. Let's see. So you, like I said, you have been keeping up with your perfect attendance. Okay. Yeah, I know that makes students feel really good about themselves and everything. Are you finding it hard, though, to get out of bed in the morning? Okay, yeah, you're just not focused. And that's even if you can't sleep right. Okay. Just gonna move this. Let's see. So, and they're doing the lawns now. Well, not our lawns, they're doing the sports lawns. Hopefully all these extra noises aren't adding to everything for you. Have you heard of burnout, whether it be autistic burnout or ADHD burnout? Because I know that we are dealing with both here, and the overlap can cause like internal wars, kind of. Okay, so you haven't experienced it before. Okay, well, I mean, that's good up until this point, but you may have been pushing yourself a little too hard in some areas, and that could cause this mental exhaustion that we're in right now. Everything feels harder, and I'd imagine emotions are heightened, sensory is heightened, so that's completely fine, and I'm glad we were able to dim the lighting here a little bit more for you. If you need me to talk quieter, I can. Okay, let me know. But I do think you might have hit a wall where you may be trying to meet expectations that you can't at the moment. You might have used your surplus of energy to the point where it's just completely depleted. You have nothing to pull from, so it's making everything feel so much harder. Is that kind of feeling okay? Yeah. Kind of feeling right there. All right. Yeah, because teachers have brought this to my attention that I may have mentioned it earlier. You're struggling a little bit in class. The focus is not that great, and which is fine. I know you've still turned in assignments and everything. You're a very good student. But if eliminating some things right now will help you get to the point where we can reset so you're feeling a lot better inside, then I suggest we probably look into how to do that, okay? Yeah, and then that even means you can spend more time doing things that you're more interested in, maybe like special interests. I know you like to play the games with your friends, like you said. Okay. Do you like to play certain games on your own? Okay. Okay. And are you into anything like art? Learning about different things? I know there's a plethora of different things to learn from, but do you enjoy something that maybe not everyone else does? Okay. So do you get a lot of time to like do you get a lot of time to look into that and maybe learn more or expand knowledge, or just get sucked into something? Okay. Now that does and doesn't help certain people, okay? But it's just suggestions. I know that you don't want to risk your perfect attendance at school, but if it were for mental health reasons, mental health leave, that is completely fine. We can still get you your homework. We can get you the lessons in different manners, and you can kind of handle that at your own pace as long as you do eventually get this stuff turned in. And it's not like this will be an extended leave. It sounds like this is the first time this has happened, and as long as you handle it appropriately, that is a understatement, I guess, because it's completely different and there's no right or wrong way to handle it for everyone. But we find a way to manage it, and you could be back sooner rather than later. It just really depends. I know students who have pushed through it and still came to school, and they pretty much just went silent and were very detached from everything going on around them. I can, from what we have been talking about and what I can see in the attendance of the clubs, even, that you've missed a few of those. Yeah, they won't kick you from them if this happens, especially if there's a reason. So don't let that add to everything else, okay? But if we can kind of catch this now, you won't be missing school, I guess, through unexcused absences. And that's just how we do things at ASMRHS, okay? I don't know how that is for everywhere, but as long as you're completing your coursework in a timely manner, what you're able to handle when you can, then everything should be fine. And, from your transcripts, we can see that you are a wonderful student. You do get good grades, and you're on a very good track for whatever you may like to do in the future. Let me grab these out of here. I've got some brochures we can look at, and since this is your first time dealing with this, I'll give these to you so we can kind of have a resource to go off of. I know everything is confusing when you don't know names for it, and when you are able to identify what's going on, it can make you feel a little bit better because you're not putting extra pressures on yourself. So I have 2 pamphlets here, and these are just what I am assuming is going on for everything you've explained. We have the autistic burnout one, and we have the ADHD burnout one. I have put these together myself for the school and other counselors to give out. So I'm still, of course, doing research on everything, trying to educate myself, trying to understand maybe even myself, and, have some sort of resource, because not everyone has this. So, not sure if you want to look at one or the other first, but just for the factors that influence, I didn't fix this one. The factors that influence autistic burnout. There's a typo in here, I'm so sorry. It says ADHD still, and it's supposed to say autistic, but for factors that influence autistic burnout, internally it can be communication demands, executive function challenges, alexithymia, co-occurring mental health conditions, And then external, we have masking, which I assume you probably have done up until this point to try to extend yourself to make friends and try to fit in this new place. I know it's easier said than done, but please do your best to be your most authentic self here. Again, you are safe in this room with me. Nothing is going to make me think otherwise of you. And I know that we have wonderful students at the school who feel the exact same way and want to know the real you, okay? Okay. And I know that it may not make you feel any better with that, okay? I'm doing my best. Doing my best. I want you to feel comfortable here so you can succeed in your most full form. You know? Back to the external stuff. Life transitions. You have made the move here into this new school. That's a huge life transition, and I'm sure the new house, your new neighborhood, everything. Sensory overload, lack of support, and unreachable expectations. Okay? And then I've got a huge thing written out here about what it is, and just go over the first sentence. You can take these with you. You can look at them. Autistic burnout is characterized by a prolonged state of physical, emotional, and cognitive exhaustion, accompanied by a significant reduction in functional capacity. It arises from chronic life stress and a persistent mismatch between external demands and the individual's available coping resources and supports. So that kind of aligns with how you're feeling, which it sounds like it may. Then all of these things may be able to help. Warning signs or symptoms. Pardon me. The air here. I don't want to keep sipping from that during our meeting, but my voice is quite dry. That might be better. I don't know. We have the physical symptoms here: sleep issues, chronic fatigue, exhaustion, difficulty with self-care, reduced tolerance to stimuli, noise, lighting, etc. Emotional symptoms: emotional dysregulation, frequent meltdowns or shutdowns, heightened stress, anxiety. Okay? And cognitive, which this, it sounds like this may be part of it as well for you right now. Loss of skills, thinking, planning, and or organizing, increased sensory overload, difficulty focusing, and feeling overwhelmed. Okay. And then we do have how to support a loved one or yourself here. Meet your autistic needs if you need to stim, if you need the sensory stuff turned down, lights, sounds, anything. Do you need to wear headphones or ear buds that reduce sound? If you do, you can bring those to school, okay? Yeah, we can make a note of that, and then if a teacher sees you with something that looks like an earbud in your ear, as long as you're being truthful about it, because I know some people like to have the music in all the time. Other teachers allow that, but we can make a note on your file that you do have the accommodation for that. Let's see. People should, should listen with empathy. I say should. Not everyone may, but you, again, safe space here to do that. Validate their feelings. Avoid judgments and criticism. Self-awareness. So when you can recognize that this may be happening, it's better to catch it sooner rather than pushing through or realizing it too late, where you might be more unwell than you are feeling at the moment, okay? Okay. Encourage seeking professional help. So if talking to me is not doing enough, I thought you were seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist. Did we get you in with one? Did I give you those resources last time? Maybe I gave them to your parent. Have you been to talk to anyone outside of me yet? Okay, so you have something scheduled, they just couldn't get you in right away. Okay. When do you know when you're supposed to see them? Okay. So coming up here. This will be good to talk to them about as well. Whether it is or is not still a factor at that point, you should let them know that this has happened. And they can also give you probably better resources and techniques than I can here, as I am just trained to do an overall amount of stuff. But like I said, I am doing my own research and trying to expand my knowledge as well as sharing it with the school, okay? And then on the back there are resources to helplines if you need that, and an email, and it should forward you to the counseling office here at the school if you do contact that and need other resources, as well as the school's phone number and address, okay? So that is the autistic burnout one. I just colored them these colors because I thought they were pretty. I don't know. They're nice and calming. I hope you feel that way as well. Otherwise, maybe it's just calming to me. I don't know. But for the ADHD burnout one, and I should go in that file and fix that. I may have, maybe I printed the wrong one. I don't know, it's been a few days, but this is the basically same thing. There are some differences. Let's see. So some of these, which this is interesting when I was trying to look into this and do some research, some of these overlap as both internal and external for both of them. So I may be repeating things in a different column here. You can, cross compare this and take it with a grain of salt. I was trying my best here just to give them a resource. So for the ADHD burnout, it says that the internal factors are masking, which that masking, I would say, could be both internal and external, but maybe it's more the internal factor of it for ADHD. Then executive function overload, hyperfocus crashes. Okay. So, let's see then. I'm curious if you do have an overlap of both then, which I know, the burnout, I mean, can be very conflicting. So this would be good to talk to the psychiatrist about like maybe what you should and shouldn't avoid. They would better know, like I said. Perfectionism and interoception issues. So I believe that's if you are, let's see. Let's actually look that up because I feel like that's also spelling things wrong. That is the ability to perceive internal bodily signals, which okay, I'm getting confused here. So I was correct mentally is what I was thinking here. but I was confusing it too with alexithymia. That is the difficulty with describing your emotions. But the interoception is the ability to perceive your internal bodily signals. So sometimes, like, if you don't realize that you're hungry, maybe you've subconsciously ignored the need, didn't know you had the need to eat at the moment, thirst, maybe your heartbeat, it says, and having to use the bathroom. So recognizing those signals internally. Not being able to do that can be a sign of burnout, but I know that is an issue for some people anyway. And then externally, things that can influence, we have overcommitment, life transitions again, unrealistic expectations, time blindness, and sensory overload. So you can see there's overlapping with both of these, as well as potentially being internal and external factors. And then what is ADHD burnout? Let's see if I can give you the quick... I'm not going to read the whole thing I have here, but you can take this. Like I said, take it if you want to read it, if you want to give it to your parent and allow them to look it over, and then maybe they can... I don't know if they'd be able to contact the psychiatrist's office and maybe see if they can get you in sooner. But this can help everyone if they are aware of it. It says it's defined by profound fatigue and a decreased ability to handle daily demands and responsibilities. So as you can see, both of them kind of have that. And it may just be something specific triggered them for you. Many of its symptoms mimic typical burnout. However, ADHD burnout is closely connected to the continuous effort required to manage ADHD symptoms. So, I believe this, the autistic one is more of the expectations and the demands, where the ADHD one is the effort you're able to put out when you've reached capacity, about the effort you're able to put out. And autistic burnout is more of the demands. When it feels like there's too many, it can shut you down. So full body shutdown type thing. And I do relate to both of these, so I may be over-explaining things because I personally felt them, but you do not have to feel the exact same way that I do or know the experience I'm discussing. I do just share, as I've mentioned many times before, I do just share maybe my own personal experiences, so that way you can relate or recognize something if you hear it from somebody else. It's just a tactic to maybe help you understand yourself, okay? And if it doesn't work, that's fine. We have the warning signs on this one. Let's see. Exhaustion. Oh, I can see through the paper more on this one. It's harder to read. I'll have to put it on thicker paper then. We have exhaustion. That is the persistent fatigue that lingers even after rest. Lack of motivation. Noticeable decrease in drive and desire to start and complete tasks. Okay. Irritability. Increased frustration or annoyance with daily situations. Okay, so at home you're finding that's the problem. Well, you're probably internalizing all of that here, so not to make a scene of sorts, I'd imagine. Yeah. If that is ever the case, you are welcome to come to the offices if you need to just maybe scream, let it out, or fidget with things. However you may need to deal with that, cry even. We do have a room where it is sound padded in there, if you do need to step in there and kind of release anything, or if you just need to talk about whatever. It doesn't have a lock on it. We would never lock someone in a room. So if that, is something you may need, we do have that, okay? And there might be, sometimes there's a boxing, like punching bag in there. I think the gym takes it sometimes, though, for that section of the gym class, so. Let's see, emotional exhaustion and strain, feeling emotionally numb, drained, or detached, sadness and or withdrawal, often accompanied by anxiety. Okay. Poor performance, difficulty focusing on or completing tasks despite importance or urgency. Okay. Yeah, so I think you're right. I think you do, especially right now, you're still trying to push through this. Like I said, if you need the break, we can give you a couple days to do that, and then you can do your work at home on your own time. We just, of course, do need everything by the end of the school year. So sometimes we're able to make exceptions and extensions for things, but it's just a case-by-case basis, I guess. Yeah. So, sorry, I was literally just like, which one did I just read last? And I know I just said something in regards to it, but I lost where I was, and I was like, it has to be the poor performance. But yeah. So yeah, I just mainly want you to know that there are resources and aids and everything here to not let you fall behind, because I know you do have the perfectionism with the attendance and your grades and maybe even the clubs, but we have fallen off of the clubs, and we don't want that to persist. Now that may I don't want to upset you, but some of these may be more important to you than others, because I know that you said that you joined, like, what, 2 extra things that you normally wouldn't do to try to meet people. If we dropped those 2, and you can always, like, try them again the following year, but not do one of the other things, I think maybe lightening the load in that sense, because it would take away the demand of having to be at the club. It would take away the demand of maybe the spelling bee having to be at certain tournaments, basketball, same thing, certain events, games, and we limit those down. I don't think you do outrageous things in art club, correct? I think that's when you've been in for a while, even outside of the school. Okay, you just meet and kind of maybe do it. Okay, I would say still that's probably more manageable. The technology one, is that the one where you're building robots, or is that the one where you're, I know that there's like multiple things you can do. There's like building the computers. Okay. So yeah. So if you think the other 2 that require you to be at different places at different times all the time are a bit too much, we can, like, you don't even have to tell them you're dropping, you just don't have to go back. And it's fine. I can make notes in here because the teachers that run them are able to see the portals and stuff. But I don't normally have anyone upset or hunting someone down, questioning why they're not at a club all of a sudden, unless it's a friend you made and they're wondering where you're at. But then I would say you could be honest and just say you couldn't handle all of the extracurriculars and you're trying to focus on the things that matter the most to you. Okay. I do keep going on tangents. What? And then lastly here, it says physical discomfort. It says it can manifest into headaches, stomach aches, and or other general aches and pains. Yeah. Yeah, that is common that I hear the headaches is like what a lot of different neurodivergent students experience when it comes to being burnt out. Headaches and just not feeling that great all around. Okay, and this may be something I make a note in your profile about as well, if you do experience the physical discomfort, because if you ever go to the nurse, I know that the nurse sometimes hears all day that kids have headaches and stomach aches, and sometimes they try to, you know, pass it off as you didn't eat enough, you didn't drink enough, you know, and that you're just trying to go home. But in your case, it could be different. Now, of course, please don't abuse that. I know you wouldn't personally, but some students, once they hear that, they start to abuse the ability to be in the nurse's office for too long, or request to go home all the time. But I'd say if you don't think you can handle being at school that day, just let the school know and we'll get you what you need otherwise. But the going to the nurse and doing the whole thing, as long as she's aware of what's going on, it'll be easier for you there than her not being aware of it. And then there's, again, how to support a loved one. A lot of these are similar. This one includes prioritize healthy sleep habits. Some of these overlapped, like I said, so I don't remember if I'm repeating things to you. Let's see if no, okay. Some of them are the same, while other ones are different. Engage in activities that bring you or them, because it's a pamphlet for you or a loved one, joy. So if that does mean getting sucked into something, and this could be beneficial for both, getting sucked into something that does make you feel good, makes you feel better, then do that. Do that for a couple days, however long you need, as long as we do try to get back into the maintaining of the self-care and everything. We don't want that to fall off necessarily. Yeah, I think that overlaps there, and then the same resources are on the back if that is necessary. So I know I talked for a long time going over these, but I hope that gave you a chance to just kind of not have to do so much talking. You can take both of these with you. I have the ability to make more of them. I'm going to have to edit the one anyway. So there's that. Do you want to do some breathing? Are you feeling overwhelmed? I know I overloaded you. Okay. Let's do some breathing and then we'll try to close this out. Do you think that you would like to go home early? Okay. Yeah, I can call your parent while you're in here. I can get the plan set up for what you'll, contact all your teachers, figure out what you'll need. I can get everything or get the files for everything to you, and you can take some time off definitely see if your parent can try to get you into the psychiatrist earlier because of this. That might like put a fire under their butt and get you in. And then you'll have even paperwork that you can present to the school, and they'll be able to be more flexible, work with you on that. So we have the rainbow breathing here. Just follow along with it. You're going to start here and breathe in, hold it, and breathe out. I may be going a little faster just because I'm showing you. Breathe in, hold it, and out. Hold it, breathe in, hold, and breathe out. Okay, so you can trace that. That'll help you too. That's a great grounding thing there. So go ahead and breathe in, hold it, breathe out, and do it at your own pace. I know guided breathing does actually give me anxiety, so but you can move your finger at your own speed there. Okay, in again. Good. Hold it. Breathe out. Good. Breathe in. And hold. And out. Very good job. And hold that. And if you need to close your eyes for a minute, you can do that. Whatever makes you feel better. And if you want to keep doing that while we're talking here, you can. I know it'll be kind of difficult because I'm asking you stuff in between, but if it helps, it helps. Let me make sure here. So, are you still feeling anxious and just jumbled inside? Yeah, I didn't expect this to make you feel any better in the moment here. I know that personally it just lingers for a ridiculous amount of time. So we're still... Yeah, if you do want to start packing up the Minecraft-ish blocks, whatever they are, you can. Otherwise, just leave it. I don't want to add more stuff to you at the moment, because I'll get you out of here soon. Okay. And with what I brought up, have you considered dropping any of the clubs at all? Well, basketball is not a club, so I will notify them if you're going to drop that one. Okay. And it's a mental health drop. They're not going to, like I said, they're not going to bother you about it. And then the spelling one too. Yeah, there's a lot of traveling with that. That's a lot of extra expectations. Because I know you do the competitions, not just here, but on a broader scale, they do travel, and sometimes they travel kind of far. So we're going to stick with art and technology for now. Okay. If you do need to drop either of those, you can let me know. But let's work on lightening the load right now and going from there. And this doesn't ban you from the school. I just do recommend that you take some days to do things a little slower, take them at your own pace. Some days may feel like they pass so quick, other ones may feel like they pass extremely slow. If you're feeling like they're going by super fast, just don't force yourself to do some of the work those days, okay? Because that just feels like so much pressure, and that I do experience. So just do what's best for you. I can check in with you if you would like me to. I can call you, or maybe send an email to your parent and they can help you fill that out. I'm not trying to cross any boundaries here. Okay, so we'll email then. Email check in, and I'll do that if you decide you don't want to come back the rest of this week, okay? Okay. If you come back to school, I'll be aware of it. Your teachers will let me know. Then we can plan an in-person thing, okay? Otherwise, if I see that you're not attending, then I will obviously send the email check-in. Alright. I hope that this meeting was helpful, beneficial to you in a way. Like I said, I'm not an expert in this. I am doing my own research on my own time, dealing with my own personal feelings and struggles, and that's what kind of dove me into finding out more of this, more about this. So there are potentials that I'm wrong on things, which is, that just comes with learning. Do speak to the professional you're going to talk to and get the assistance you'll need. They can help probably better guide you than I, but if you do want to share any maybe techniques or helpful things they shared with you when it comes time and you have those in your arsenal, then please do share them with me. Otherwise, there's no pressure to do that. I just want you to do the best you can, okay? And take care of yourself and be your best you, whatever that may be, okay? Alright. Sometimes I just feel all over, and I'm sorry if it comes off that way. Sometimes I wonder how I got this job. Other times I think I'm perfect for it, but I'll put it this way now. I will call your parent. You can be in the room if you want to be. Otherwise, you can head on out. You don't have to go back to class right now because I am going to send you home. If there's anything you want to go like to your locker, if you need to grab some food in the lunchroom, go ahead and do that on your way. But you can just go straight to the office if you want and sit in the front office and wait. And don't worry about stopping in classes to gather stuff. I will do that for you, okay? I'm so sorry. Other counselors have other methods, and I don't know what the kicking the wall entails, but, it's something. That is not the room with the soundproofing. That is not what that is. I believe I checked on everything we had to do today. I'm just checking my notes here. I want to make sure I covered everything that maybe the teachers touched on with me. One more sip before I make this phone call. It's a good thing I had that drink, because if I didn't, you'd be listening to me and I'd be all like scratchy voiced all the time. Okay, what is the... Let me see. I moved my phone, so it's like not in a great position here. Okay. Hi, yes, I am the counselor at ASMR HS. Yes, I have your child in here. We were just talking about some things, and we are going to end up sending your child home today early. So if anyone is able to come pick them up, that would be amazing. You can come by the counselor's office if you would like to discuss anything. But otherwise, I have provided your child with some pamphlets that we have here, and they can help better maybe explain if they're up for doing that. Otherwise, the pamphlets can help, but please do feel free to let me know if you have questions, okay? Of course, you can come down to the counselor's office if you would prefer to do that. Yes. It's not like an emergency. You're not missing a finger or anything. The nurse would call you for that, but also they'd call you after the child has gone to the hospital, probably not here. And I know it's funny, but it's not, because it's not happening, but it has happened in the past. Sorry about my dark jokes, potentially. But yes, everything is okay otherwise. They will just need some time to rest. Mental health break, little time off, taking care of stuff at their own pace. Yeah, I can go further into it when you're here. I just want to be respectful because I have your child in the office. Respectful and keep some privacy. Okay. Yeah, if you're able to come now, that's great. Okay. I told them to go down to the front office, but if you want to come here, I can have them just hang out in the counselor's office, and I can let the front know that you'll be needing a visitor pass for a few minutes. Okay? Alright, so like 15 minutes? Okay, great. Yep. Okay, then we'll see you when you get here. Thank you for being so understanding. Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Bye. Okay. So, let me check the time here. I will need to step out for my lunch break before I have that meeting around 1:30. Yeah, we've got just enough time for me to step out and do that. Like I said, if you need to gather anything, I can get you a pass. Or you know what, we'll have Vanessa do it out there. She can make you one. Because I think I'm out right now. I'll send her a little message. So she'll give you a hallway pass. You can pick up some lunch if you want to in the lunchroom, and then you can come back and linger out in the waiting room that we have in this office. And then your parent will be here. They said about 15 minutes, so that should give you plenty of time to go grab stuff. You can grab the food and eat it in here. We don't care. But yeah, I'm going to go take care of that, so I'm prepared for the next student. And you can stop me if you need to when I'm passing in and out. Otherwise, you'll be back in a little while so we can talk to your parent. And then you should be on your way home, okay? All right. Yeah, I'm not trying to rush you out of here. I just want to make sure you have enough time to do what you need to do, and then I can go take care of this real quick. Okay. And I can ask Vanessa to dim the lights out there, because we can do that throughout the whole office. Okay, so it might not be handled right this second, but go do what you need to do, and then she'll be ready for you out there. And is there anything else I can help you with right now? Do you have any questions or concerns? I will get all the homework, don't you worry. I have your schedule here. I will get it all for you. All the teachers will be made aware to the capacity that they need to be. We don't need to tell them everything. And then all of that will be sorted. You don't have anything to worry about. Okay? All right, well, let me go ahead and walk you out then, and go ahead and grab everything you're gonna need or that you think you're gonna need. I would take all your textbooks just in case. And then I should be able to forward any worksheets, PDFs, presentations, anything. Okay? All right, let's step out. Yep, come on, this way. You can just leave that there, that's fine. All right. I'll see you in a little bit, kiddo. Bye.